Alright, let's talk about the biggest drama in world football right now because no, it's not VAR, corruption scandals, or even Lionel Messi's retirement. It's a full-blown war between FIFA and UEFA over money, power, and who gets to decide the future of the World Cup. And trust me, this isn't just about soccer. It's about who controls the soul of the sport. So here's the quick setup. Gianni Infantino, FIFA's president, wants to sell a chunk of the World Cup to private equity investors. His pitch: if UEFA and the other 210 national federations approve, they'll get double the funding, $20 million each over 4 years. Sounds great on paper, right? But UEFA, the governing body for European football, just said, not on our watch. They've announced a boycott of all FIFA competitions unless this deal is killed. The Women's U20 World Cup in Poland? First casualty. And honestly, this feels like the start of a civil war. Let's break this down. At face value, Infantino's plan looks like a cash injection for struggling federations. Over 70% of FIFA's members rely on its funding to keep their leagues running, build stadiums, or develop youth programs. So why would UEFA reject free money? Because, and this is key, they see a trap. Selling stakes to private investors doesn't just bring cash. It brings strings. Suddenly, FIFA's priorities shift from growing football to pleasing shareholders. Profit margins over passion. Imagine the Premier League, but for the World Cup. Ticket prices skyrocketing, schedules packed for TV deals, and decisions made in boardrooms instead of locker rooms. That's the nightmare UEFA is trying to prevent. But wait, Infantino's argument isn't entirely wrong. FIFA has a $20 billion valuation here. If they're sitting on a goldmine, why not use it to fund grassroots soccer? Personally, I think this is where the debate gets messy. On one hand, yeah, more money could fix a lot of problems. On the other, history shows us what happens when sports get privatized. The European Super League fiasco? That was UEFA versus clubs chasing revenue. Now UEFA's taking the same stance but against FIFA itself. Irony? Delicious. Here's what most people miss. This isn't just about money. It's about legacy. Infantino, who used to work at UEFA before becoming FIFA president, is positioning himself for life after 2031. Rumors say he wants to run this new FIFA Forward Enterprise, FFE, subsidiary like a commissioner. So is this a power play to stay relevant? Absolutely. And UEFA's boycott is a direct attack on his endgame. They're not just fighting a business deal, they're trying to end his career. But let's zoom out. What does this mean for you, the fan? If FIFA goes through with this, expect more commercialization. More midweek World Cup matches to cater to US audiences. More sponsor logos on jerseys, stadiums, and even player shorts. The beautiful game becomes a product. And once that door opens, it never closes. What's next? Private equity voting on rule changes? Maybe. But what's also fascinating is how this exposes a global divide. Europe's flexing its muscle here, 55 nations strong. But what about smaller federations in Africa or Asia? They might see this cash as a lifeline. So is UEFA really representing the voice of football, or just Europe's interests? That's the uncomfortable question no one's asking. To me, the bigger story here is how sports are evolving or devolving into entertainment corporations. The NBA, the NFL, even the Olympics, they've all faced this tension between tradition and revenue. FIFA's just the latest battleground. And while UEFA's boycott feels dramatic, it might be the only way to slow this train. But will it work? History says FIFA's too big to fail. But hey, maybe this is the moment football fans realize the game they love is being sold, one stake at a time. And if you're okay with that, I've got a question. When did you stop caring if football still belonged to the people who play and love it, and not the guys in suits? What do you think? Is UEFA fighting a noble battle? Or are they just gatekeepers clinging to power? Let me know in the comments. And if you're into deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button. Because trust me, this FIFA versus UEFA saga's far from over.